I still remember the first time I saw Alina, standing by the swings in the park like she owned the world. "Hey, careful with that," I called out when she nearly tripped over a loose chain. She glanced at me, smiled, and said, "Don't worry, I've got it." That smile, God, I was done for. Years went by and I never stopped thinking about her. Every laugh, every glance, every little word she said felt like it was meant for me. My friends would tease me endlessly. "You're hopeless, man," Jason said once. "She doesn't even notice you." I shrugged. "I'll wait," I said. "She's worth it." I planned it perfectly in my head, just one moment where I could tell her everything. That day came in my senior year, under the old oak tree near the school parking lot. My heart thumped like crazy. I spotted her walking with her usual confident stride, hair bouncing, backpack slung carelessly over one shoulder. "Alina," I called, trying to sound casual. She turned. "Hey, what's up?" I swallowed. I need to tell you something." Her eyebrows rose. "Oh, this sounds serious." "I like you," I blurted, voice shaking. "I've liked you for years." She interrupted, and my chest froze. "You? Like me? Seriously?" Her tone was polite, but distant. Not the reaction I imagined. "Yes," I said, stepping closer. "I know it's sudden, but I can't hide it anymore. I thought maybe you felt the same?" Alina sighed, leaning against a nearby fence. "Look, I'm flattered, really. But I don't feel the same way. I see you as a friend, nothing more." The words hit harder than I expected. "Just friends?" My voice cracked. "After all this time?" "Yeah," she said softly, but firmly. "I'm sorry," I stared at her, trying to process it. The air felt heavy, like someone had knocked the wind out of me. "Okay, I understand," I managed to say. But inside, my world was crumbling. The next few days were brutal. I walked through school like a ghost. Jason tried to make a joke. "Man, you look like you lost a game of life." I didn't laugh. I couldn't. Mom noticed too. "Honey, you're unusually quiet," she said at dinner. "Everything okay at school?" I shook my head. "Just stuff." My friends rallied around me, trying to cheer me up. "You'll get over her," Jason said. "Plenty of girls out there." I forced a smile, but it was empty. I couldn't explain that this wasn't just a crush. It was the one person I thought I could be with, the one person who made sense. At night, I replayed everything in my mind. Every conversation, every laugh, every small touch. Did she really not notice me at all? Was I invisible to her this whole time? I tried to focus on other things, school, sports, anything, but nothing worked. Alina's rejection left a hole in me, a sharp ache that no one could reach. I felt exposed, raw, and helpless. Somewhere in the back of my mind, a small, stubborn voice whispered, "Maybe someday I'll show her what she lost." I pushed the thought away for now, telling myself it was just bitterness. But deep down, I knew this wasn't the end. Not for me, not for us, and certainly not for her. I saw them together for the first time last weekend. Alina holding his arm like it was made for her, laughing at some joke I couldn't hear. I leaned against the fence outside the cafe, pretending to check my phone. But my eyes were glued to her. "Man, you're staring again," Jason muttered, nudging me. I shoved him lightly. "I'm just thinking. He laughed. "You're plotting, aren't you?" "Admit it." "Shut up," I said, though my jaw tightened. "She doesn't even know you exist that way," he said quietly. "Why torture yourself?" I didn't answer. How could I? I didn't know either. Part of me wanted to disappear. Part of me wanted to scream. Watching Alina with him made my chest burn with something I couldn't name. "Look, there's Layla," Jason said, pointing. I followed his gaze. She was sitting alone at a corner table, sketching in her notebook, completely unaware of the world around her. Unlike Alina, she didn't demand attention. She didn't need it. Her hair fell softly over her face, eyes focused, lips slightly parted as she worked. "She's quiet," I said. "Yeah," Jason nodded. "Smart too. You know, probably notices everything." I couldn't look away. There was something calm about her, a kind of peace I didn't see in Alina. She's different, I whispered. Jason smirked. Different enough to make you forget Alina? I scoffed. Don't be ridiculous. Still, I found myself watching her more than them. Every subtle movement, every little smile she gave to herself. I realized she noticed things others didn't like, the way a barista struggled with a tray or how a kid dropped an ice cream. She would quietly help, no one watching. It made me think. Maybe someone like her could actually see me. Hey, I'm gonna grab a coffee, Jason said, standing. I nodded but stayed seated, pretending to scroll through my phone. I couldn't tear my eyes from her. A sudden breeze flipped a page in her notebook. She glanced up, caught my gaze for a split second, then looked away, cheeks slightly pink. My heart thumped so loudly I was sure she could hear it. Hey, I muttered to myself. Who are you? I didn't know if I felt curiosity, attraction, or something dark or revenge. Maybe it was all three. The idea crept into my mind slowly, dangerously. What if I could get close to her? Not just because she was Alina's sister, but because she deserved someone who saw her worth. And maybe, just maybe, it would drive Alina crazy to see me happy. Crazy idea, I whispered, shaking my head. Don't think about it. But I couldn't stop. I watched as she laughed softly at something in her notebook, alone in her little bubble of calm. I wanted to know her. I wanted to talk to her, and yes, part of me admitted, even if I hated it, part of me wanted her to shock Alina someday. I packed up my things slowly, pretending I had business to attend to. Every step I took felt heavy, like I was walking through a fog of thoughts I couldn't clear. You coming or what? Jason called, already at the door. Yeah, I said, voice low, but my eyes stayed on her for a moment longer as we walked away. I felt something shift inside me, a dangerous, exciting feeling that I couldn't name. Was it attraction? Was it revenge? Or was it both? Whatever it was, I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't ignore her. I wouldn't, and deep down, I felt the first spark of a plan forming. Hey, Layla, I called softly as I approached the library. She looked up from her book, startled, then smiled faintly. Oh, hi, she said. I didn't hear you come in. I just wanted to ask, can I sit with you? I gestured to the empty seat across from her. She hesitated, then nodded. Sure, if you don't mind the mess, I chuckled. I don't mind. As I sat, I noticed the way she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Nervous? Maybe. I cleared my throat. So, what are you reading? She held up her book. Just some old poetry. Nothing special. It looks interesting, I smiled, though inside my mind was spinning. Every small gesture she made drew me in. At the same time, I reminded myself why I was here. Part of me wanted to be near her because she was genuinely kind, but another part whispered, Remember Alina? Do you come here often? I asked, trying to sound casual. Every weekend, she said, eyes still on the page. It's quiet. I like that. Quiet's nice, I agreed. Sometimes people don't notice things unless they're quiet. My voice held a hidden meaning, hoping she'd catch it. She looked at me, her eyes soft. Yeah, I notice a lot, but I usually keep it to myself. I nodded slowly. That little admission made my chest tighten. She's different. She actually cares. Hey, there's a cafe nearby, I said after a pause. Want to grab a coffee later? Her cheeks colored slightly. Sure, that sounds nice. We walked side by side, talking about small things, school, music, books. Dialogue flowed naturally, and I realized I was genuinely enjoying her company. But then the thought returned. Alina would be shocked. She'd never see this coming. At the cafe, I ordered 2 coffees. She sipped hers quietly, glancing out the window. You seem thoughtful, I said carefully. She shrugged. Just thinking about life, I guess. I hesitated, then added, sometimes it feels like nobody notices the little things. You know, like moments that matter. Her eyes met mine, soft and understanding. I notice. Sometimes it feels lonely, though. People don't always see what's in front of them, Her words hit me. She trusts me already, and I feel guilty for thinking about using her for revenge. I get that, I said quietly. I want people to see me too. Maybe you feel the same? She smiled faintly. Yeah, maybe. It's nice. Talking to someone who actually listens. My chest tightened again. I wanted to tell her everything how I felt about Alina, how I wanted to. But I couldn't, not yet. Instead, I kept it light, playful. Well, I'm a great listener. Most of the time. She laughed softly. Most of the time? Most of the time, I repeated, smiling. You're slipping into my plans too easily. After we left the cafe, Jason bumped into us. So, I see you're making moves, he teased, elbowing me. Shut up, I muttered. But I couldn't stop the grin from spreading. Layla glanced at me, confused. Making moves? Nothing, I said quickly. Just friends catching up. As we walked back, I felt the dangerous thrill stirring inside me. I liked her. I really did. But the Planalina would be shocked if she saw this. That thought keeps me balanced between guilt and excitement. Later, alone in my room, I replayed every word, every laugh. I felt warm but also guilty. Using someone's trust for revenge. Was that really me? Or had I become something I didn't recognize? Still, part of me smiled, imagining Alina's face when she saw how close I had grown with her little sister. And part of me wondered, maybe I didn't just want to shock Alina. Maybe I wanted more than that. Thanks for meeting me today, Layla said softly, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Of course, I replied, trying to keep my tone casual. What's on your mind? She hesitated, biting her lip. I don't usually talk about this, but I guess I just feel lost sometimes. I leaned in slightly, encouraging her. It's okay. You can tell me? I'll listen. Her eyes met mine, cautious but trusting. I feel like no one really notices me. Not like Alina does. She's so confident, so everything. And me? I'm smaller, quieter, invisible. I nodded slowly. I get that. I think a lot of people feel that way sometimes. She smiled faintly. You'll really listen, though. Most people just talk past me. I felt a pang of guilt. You're supposed to be using this, not feeling it. Well, I try. It's important to notice the little things. Her gaze softened, and she leaned back in her chair. It's just scary, you know? I want to do something meaningful with my life, but I don't know where to start. I'm afraid I'll fail. You won't, I said instinctively. You have the kind of focus that most people never develop. I've seen it. Her cheeks flushed. Really? Yeah, I said, smiling. I mean it. You notice details? You care about people. That's rare. She looked down at her hands, fidgeting. Sometimes I wish I could be like Alina. She seems so sure of herself, so untouchable. I chuckled lightly. Untouchable isn't always good. People like that. Sometimes they don't see the ones around them. You do, though. That counts for more than you realize. Her lips curved into a genuine smile. Thank you. I don't think anyone has ever said that to me. My chest tightened, a mix of pride and guilt. You're supposed to be manipulating her, not making her feel safe. But I couldn't stop. Her trust felt sacred, so I said, trying to redirect. What's your next step? Have you thought about your goals? She hesitated. I want to work somewhere I can help people, make a difference. But I don't know if I'm brave enough. You are, I said firmly. You just need someone to remind you. She looked at me, soft brown eyes filled with something I couldn't quite name. You always seem to know the right thing to say. I felt a shiver run down my spine. God, don't fall for this. Don't fall for her. We sat in silence for a moment, sipping our drinks. I wanted to reach out, touch her hand, tell her she was amazing, but I held back. This isn't about her. It's about Alina. But another part of me whispered, maybe it's not just about her. Maybe it's about you too. You trust me, I said finally. She nodded. I do, more than I should. Probably good, I said softly. Because I want to be someone you can rely on. Her smile was faint, vulnerable, but it made my chest ache. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to keep this moment forever. And yet underneath it all, the plan simmered. Alina had no idea how close I was getting to her little sister. That thought twisted inside me, thrilling and terrifying at the same time. I have to go soon, she said reluctantly. But thank you for listening, for caring, I nodded. Any time, Layla? Really? As I watched her walk away, I felt the dangerous pull of my own feelings. Love, guilt, revenge? All tangled together? Alina's oblivion made it sweeter, yes. But the warmth in Layla's eyes, that wasn't part of the plan, and for the first time I realized I might be in too deep. The room was buzzing with chatter, clinking glasses, and laughter as I walked in. Layla held my hand tightly, her fingers warm, reassuring. My heart thumped, but this time it wasn't far. It was anticipation. Everyone, I said loudly, projecting over the noise. Conversations paused. Glasses halted midair. I took a deep breath. I have something important to announce. Alina froze across the room. Her eyes widened as she held her champagne flute, lips slightly parted. I looked at Layla, smiled, and said, Layla, will you marry me? The room went silent. A few gasps escaped. Murmurs started swirling like wildfire. Layla's cheeks flushed, eyes wide. Layla stammered, but I gently squeezed her hand. It's okay, I whispered. Say it when you're ready. She blinked rapidly. Yes, I will. A cheer erupted from some relatives. Congratulations. My aunt shouted, clapping. My parents beamed, clearly proud. Alina's face, though, was something else. Shock, disbelief, a flicker of anger. She turned to whisper to her friend, Did he just... Her voice was tight, trembling. Jason, standing near me, leaned in. You finally did it, man. She looks like she's about to explode. I smirked, but my mind raced. Yeah, that's the point. Layla laughed nervously. I can't believe this is real. Are we really doing this? We are, I said softly. I want this. I want us. Alina's whispered comments continued. This isn't fair. He was supposed to. How could he? I caught the venom in her voice, but I ignored it. Focusing on Layla, you look beautiful, I said, my gaze locking on her. More than I could have imagined, her blush deepened. Stop it, you're making me nervous. Good, I teased. I like that. My father cleared his throat, a proud smile on his face. Well, it's about time. I couldn't be happier, Mother chimed in. You two look perfect together. I've never seen him so. Certain Alina's lips pressed into a thin line. She turned away, pretending to examine the table arrangements, but I saw her glancing back repeatedly. Her pride was wounded, and I admit, a small part of me relished it. Layla whispered, I didn't expect it to be so. Public. It had to be, I said quietly. Some announcements need to be loud, unforgettable. She laughed softly, warmth spreading through me. Her trust, her support, it made the plan feel almost innocent. Alina, meanwhile, whispered again to her friend, voice shaking. I can't believe this. After everything, he's with her? I caught that whisper, and the rush of satisfaction was intoxicating. But then, guilt pricked at me. You're doing this for revenge. But Layla's real. She's innocent in this. Can we dance? Layla asked suddenly, her hand still in mine. Of course, I said, leading her to the small, cleared space in the corner. Music began, and we swayed gently. I focused on her, the warmth of her hand, the softness of her hair brushing my cheek. Alina's eyes followed us, sharp and hurt. I noticed the tension in her shoulders, the slight quiver of her jaw. I wanted to say something justify, explain, but I didn't. She needed to feel the consequences, naturally. A cousin whispered behind me, This is bold, man. Bold and perfect. I nodded, glancing down at Layla. Her smile was genuine, radiant. I realized then, this wasn't just revenge. This was happiness, a victory over my own past pain. A chance to build something real. Alina excused herself quietly, slipping out before anyone could stop her. I watched the door close behind her, chest tight, heart racing. Part of me felt guilty, but another part. "Satisfied, you okay?" Layla asked, sensing the tension. "I am," I said softly, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "Better than I've been in a long time." She smiled, eyes sparkling. "Me too, I can't believe. Us." I held her close, taking in the moment. Around us, the room resumed its chatter, clapping and laughter. But in that moment, it felt like the world shrank down to just the two of us, and deep inside, I knew the first real move in my plan had succeeded. Alina had seen everyone had noticed, and yet, I had Layla, and somehow, that was enough. Layla laughed at something I said. Oh. Her eyes sparkling in a way that made my chest tighten. "You always know how to make people laugh," she said softly. "I guess I've had practice," I replied, trying to sound casual. But I couldn't hide the warmth spreading inside me. She shook her head, smiling. "No, really. It's not just joking. You listen, you notice things. I like that." I swallowed. Her words hit me harder than I expected. I enjoy being with you," I admitted quietly. Her eyebrows lifted slightly. "Really?" "Yeah," I said, trying to ignore the sudden guilt twisting in my stomach. "This isn't supposed to be real. She's innocent. This was supposed to be..." "About Alina?" She tilted her head, studying me. "You're different around me." "I'm not pretending," I said quickly. But the truth was, I wasn't sure anymore. Maybe I'm pretending less than I thought. We walked through the park, leaves crunching beneath our feet. The air was crisp, calm. Layla kept talking about her studies, her dreams, the little things that mattered to her. Every word drew me in, and I realized I wasn't just curious anymore. I genuinely cared. "You know," she said, glancing at me, "I never thought someone would really want to hear all this. My fears, my plans. People usually just nod and forget. I'm not like that," I said. "I want to hear it. I want to know you." She smiled softly, and I felt a pang in my chest. She trusted me completely, and I'm the one who started this for revenge. We stopped by a small fountain. She tossed a pebble into the water, watching the ripples spread. "I'm glad we met," she murmured. "Me too," I said. "Not just because of the plan, because of you." A familiar voice broke the moment. "Well, isn't this cute?" Alina stepped from behind a tree, hands on her hips, a forced smile on her face. I froze. Layla glanced at her, startled. "Alina?" she said softly. Alina's eyes flicked between us, thinly veiled jealousy in her gaze. "Engaged, huh?" "Didn't see that coming." I forced a polite smile. "Life is full of surprises," Alina scoffed. "Apparently. Funny how some surprises sting more than others." Layla stepped slightly closer to me. "Okay," she whispered. "Yeah, it's fine," I said, though my mind raced. She doesn't need to feel hurt because of this. "Not again." Alina's lips pressed into a thin line. "Enjoy it while it lasts," she said, turning sharply and walking away. I watched her go, a strange mixture of satisfaction and unease bubbling inside me. "Don't let her get to you," I said quietly, placing a hand on Layla's shoulder. She nodded, eyes thoughtful. "It's not easy seeing her act like that, but I feel safe with you. I trust you." Her words made my chest tighten. I had never expected this. I had imagined manipulating her, using her closeness to get back at Alina, but now it felt different. I feel the same, I admitted. More than I thought I would. Her eyes softened. "You mean it?" "Yes," I said, voice low. "I mean it." We stood there, watching the sunset reflect on the fountain water. Silence stretched between us, comfortable and heavy with unspoken words. For the first time, I realized my plan had changed. My thoughts about shocking Alina no longer dominated my mind. Instead, I thought about Layla, her laugh, her insight, the way she cared without asking for anything in return. I think. I'm starting to feel something real, I whispered. Not just revenge. Layla reached for my hand, intertwining her fingers with mine. I think that's a good thing, she said softly, a shy smile tugging at her lips. I squeezed her hand, heart pounding. Yeah, it is. More than I imagined. As we walked back, side by side, I felt a strange mix of relief and anxiety. I had wanted to shock Alina, to take pride in my plan, but now I worried about my own feelings. Was this love? Or just a complication that might destroy everything? Either way, I knew one thing. Layla had changed everything. I heard about it first from Jason, leaning against the railing of our apartment balcony. Dude, Alina got passed over for the promotion, he said, shaking his head. What? I asked, surprised but trying not to show it. Yeah, rumor is, she messed up the presentation and the board. Well, they weren't impressed. I swallowed hard, trying to stay detached. Part of me wanted to smirk, even cheer quietly. Part of me felt uneasy. This was supposed to be about revenge, not enjoying her failures. Don't sound too happy, Jason warned. You know this could spiral. Karma's tricky, man. Don't get trapped in it yourself. I'm not trapped, I said, though the words felt hollow. Am I really? Later, I saw Alina at the coffee shop near our office. Her usual confidence was replaced with a tight-lipped expression. She frowned at her phone, scrolling through emails, muttering under her breath. Rough day, I asked cautiously, sliding into the seat across from her. She looked up, startled. Oh, it's nothing, just work stuff. I studied her, noticing the stress lines around her eyes. You don't sound convincing? I don't need to, she snapped lightly, then immediately softened. I'm fine, really. I nodded slowly, hiding the conflicted feelings swelling inside me. Seeing her like this wasn't easy. Part of me thought, this is karma. Another part whispered, why does it hurt to see her struggle? Jason called me later, voice teasing. She's spiraling, man. Don't you feel a little... Don't? I interrupted. I don't want to feel good about it. It's complicated. It's always complicated with you, he said, laughing. You're obsessed with balance, but come on, she made choices. Maybe she's getting a taste of her own medicine. I know, I said quietly, but watching. It's not as satisfying as I imagined. At dinner that evening, my parents noticed my distraction. You've been quiet, Mom said. I'm fine, I murmured, but inside my thoughts churned. Layla was beside me, unaware of the tension building in my head. You're thinking about her again, Layla whispered softly, nudging me. Alina, I said reluctantly, her brow furrowed. Are you regretting your plan? No, I replied quickly. Not regret, just realizing consequences aren't one-sided. Layla squeezed my hand. You've changed, haven't you? You're not just focused on revenge anymore. Her words struck a chord. She's right. I'm tangled in this more than I expected. The next day I ran into Alina again at the park. She was pacing, muttering to herself. I can't believe I messed up. Everything was going so well. Hey, I said cautiously. Are you okay? She glared at me, defensive but vulnerable. I'll be fine. I have to fix this. You can, I said softly, though my voice carried an unintended weight. You can, but I'm not sure you'll ever forgive yourself fully. Her shoulders slumped slightly. Thanks, I guess. I need to figure things out. I nodded, feeling the uncomfortable mix of satisfaction and guilt twist inside me. Watching her stumble. It was a part of my plan, yes. But seeing her human side, the panic, the self-doubt made me question my motives. Jason texted me later, careful, man. Revenge is one thing. Getting lost in someone else's downfall is another. I stared at the message, thinking about Layla, about Alina, about the tightrope I was walking. Am I becoming someone I won't recognize? That night, alone in my room, I replayed the day's events. Alina's quiet despair, her subtle self-reflection, the anger simmering beneath her polished exterior, all collided with my own thoughts. I realized something important. Revenge could be thrilling, but consequences touched everyone, including me. My heart was no longer simple, my plans no longer clean, and deep down I wondered, maybe the real test wasn't shocking Alina. Maybe it was seeing if I could hold on to my own integrity. While the world shifted beneath me, we sat on the balcony, city lights flickering below us. Layla's fingers were intertwined with mine, and I felt the warmth of her hand grounding me. "I have to tell you something," she said, voice barely above a whisper. I turned to her, sensing the seriousness in her tone. "What is it?" She took a deep breath. I think I love you." The words hit me like a thunderclap. I froze, my chest tightening. Love now. After everything? How can this be real? "You love me?" I asked, voice trembling. "Yes," she said, eyes shining. "I know it sounds sudden, but I can't hide it anymore. You're important to me." More than I expected, I swallowed hard, the memories of my original plan crashing against the truth of my feelings. I was going to use her to shock Alina, but now I feel this. I care for her. I actually care. I don't know what to say, I admitted, voice low. Part of me started this for revenge, but I never expected to feel like this. Her hand tightened around mine. "I don't care about revenge. I care about you. About us." I looked down at her, guilt gnawing at me. "It's complicated. My plan. I never wanted to hurt you. You were never supposed to be involved like this. You didn't hurt me," she said softly. "I know there were reasons, but you didn't lie about us. Not completely. And I trust you." Her words pierced through the remaining walls I had built. I wanted to confess everything, how I had plotted, how I had thought of shocking Elena, but the truth was simple. My feelings for Layla had grown beyond any plan. "I love you too," I finally admitted, voice shaky. "More than I expected. And it's not about revenge anymore. It's about you. Us." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Really?" "Really?" I said, pulling her close. "I can't promise I haven't made mistakes, but I promise I care about you. Genuinely." She rested her head against my chest, and for the first time, I felt a deep sense of peace. The city lights shimmered around us, but it was her presence that mattered most. Later, we ran into Alina at a mutual friends gathering. She froze when she saw us together, my arm around Layla. "Alina," I said cautiously, not wanting confrontation but wanting acknowledgement. Her lips pressed into a thin line. I see," she murmured, voice barely audible. "I see that you really chose her." "Yes," I said softly. "I chose someone who's honest, caring, someone I love." Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. I didn't realize. I didn't think it's okay," I said gently. "You made your choices. I made mine." She looked down, guilt written across her face. I may have lost you forever. And I deserve this, don't I?" I shook my head. "This isn't about punishment. It's about life moving forward. We all have our lessons. You'll learn yours, just as I've learned mine." Alina nodded slowly, wiping a tear. "I understand. I'm sorry for everything." "It's all right," I said, smiling faintly. "I've grown too. I've realized that revenge, satisfaction, none of it matters as much as love, honesty, and trust." Layla squeezed my hand. "And we have that," she said, looking up at me with those eyes that had captured my heart long before I realized it. "Yes," I agreed. "We do." Alina lingered for a moment, then turned away, walking off into the crowd. Her pride wounded, but maybe, finally, there was understanding. I took a deep breath, looking at Layla. "You know, I started this thinking about revenge, but now I see. The best thing isn't shocking someone. It's growing, learning, and choosing love. Her smile was radiant. I'm glad you learned that with me. I am, I said, holding her close. Because loving you, it's worth everything. For the first time in years, I felt whole. The past, the plans, the mistakes, they mattered less now. What mattered was the future we could build together, free of grudges, fueled by honesty, and filled with real love. And as Layla rested her head against my shoulder, I realized I had finally found something far more satisfying than revenge. I had found myself. I woke up that morning with a strange lightness in my chest. Layla was still asleep beside me, her hair fanned across the pillow, and I realized something. I don't care about revenge anymore. I don't need it. I have her. You're staring again, she murmured, opening one eye and smiling sleepily. Can't help it, I admitted. You're incredible. She yawned and stretched, tucking her hand into mine. Careful, or I'll start believing you're a hopeless romantic now. Maybe I am, I said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. And I don't mind it, she laughed, sitting up and stretching fully. Good, because I'm serious about us. I want this just you and me without any schemes, without any plans for revenge. I nodded. That's exactly what I want too. No games, no spite. Just us. Later that day, Alina showed up at my door. I froze for a second, then composed myself. Layla squeezed my hand, giving me courage. Hey, Alina said, her voice unusually soft. I wanted to see you. Talk, I guess. I gestured for her to sit. All right. What's on your mind? She fidgeted, avoiding my eyes. I realize I may have hurt you more than I intended, and I just want to say I'm sorry. I nodded slowly. I accept that. But just because you apologize doesn't mean we go back to how things were. Her eyes widened slightly. I understand. I wanted closure, not to disrupt your life. You've gotten it, I said gently. Closure doesn't mean returning to the past. It means moving forward without regret, without anger. She nodded, looking down at her hands. I wish you happiness. Truly, thank you, I said sincerely. I hope you find it too. But our paths are different now. I've chosen mine. Alina swallowed, tears threatening. I lost you. I realize that now, and it hurts. I let her words settle then, said quietly, it's okay to feel that. But you need to understand, holding on won't bring you back anything you've lost. You can only move forward. She nodded, taking a deep breath. You're right. I've been so proud, so stubborn. Maybe I needed to lose this to see it. You've learned your lesson, I said gently, and I've learned mine. We both have growth now. After she left, I turned to Layla. See? That wasn't so hard. She laughed softly, resting her head on my shoulder. No, it wasn't. And it feels good knowing the past won't drag us down anymore. I kissed the top of her head. Exactly. I've spent so long plotting revenge, thinking it would fix everything. But nothing compares to what I have with you. She looked up at me, eyes sparkling. I feel the same. You've shown me love, trust, and honesty. Things I didn't even know I needed. I've learned that happiness isn't about proving something to someone else. I said, thinking about Alina one last time. It's about choosing the right person, building trust, and valuing what's real. Layla smiled, taking my hand. And we have that. Yes, I agreed. We do. And I'm never letting it go. That night, as we walked along the quiet streets, holding hands, I realized the freedom I felt. Not the freedom from Alina or from revenge, but freedom from my own bitterness and need for validation. You know, Layla said, glancing up at me, you've changed. You're lighter, happier. I am, I admitted, because I finally understand what matters. Love, respect, honesty, and choosing happiness over grudges. She smiled softly, pressing her hand into mine. I'm glad we're together. Truly. Me too, I whispered. And this time, it's real. Nothing else matters. We continued walking, side by side, letting the city lights guide us forward. I felt empowered, at peace, and deeply in love. Revenge had lost its appeal, and in its place, something far stronger had taken root. I had chosen love over revenge. And for the first time in years, I felt whole. I woke up to sunlight spilling across our bedroom. Layla curled up beside me, her breathing steady and calm. I watched her for a moment, thinking about how far we'd come. Morning, she murmured, stretching and yawning. Morning, I said softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Sleep well? The best, she replied, smiling up at me. It feels right, you know? Being here with you, I feel the same, I said, pulling her into a gentle hug. I never imagined I'd find something real, something lasting, after all that chaos. She chuckled. Chaos? Are you talking about Alina? I nodded. Part of it. The past, it was messy, but it taught me what truly matters. Love, trust, honesty. And now I have you. Layla's eyes softened. I'm glad you chose me. That's all I've ever wanted. Later, we met Jason and a few close friends at our favorite cafe. Look at you two, Jason said, grinning. Happier than I've ever seen you, man. I am, I admitted, smiling. I've learned that satisfaction doesn't come from revenge. It comes from choosing what's right and who truly matters. Layla squeezed my hand. And that's us. One of our friends raised an eyebrow. So, Alina. I chuckled softly. Alina. She's moving on too. We've all learned lessons. Karma and justice played their part naturally. I don't need to chase it anymore, she seems. Humbled, Layla said quietly. I saw her last week. She wasn't bitter, just reflective, exactly, I said. She's a reminder of the past, but not a weight. She faced her consequences, and I faced mine, to realizing that revenge isn't fulfilling. We sipped coffee, laughing lightly, sharing small stories about work and friends. The conversation flowed effortlessly, without tension, without schemes. For the first time, life felt uncomplicated. You've changed, Layla said later, looking at me seriously. You're calmer, more present. You've let go. I had to, I said, thinking back to the days when Alina's rejection haunted me, when my plans consumed every thought. Letting go isn't easy, but it's necessary. Happiness isn't about proving something to anyone else. It's about living honestly. Layla leaned against me, smiling. And now, we can build our life without shadows from the past. Exactly, I whispered. I want every day with you to be real, untainted by pride or grudges. That evening, we walked through the park where I first started noticing her. The fountain reflected the sunset, and I felt a profound sense of peace. You know, I said, holding her hand, I used to think satisfaction came from revenge, but it never did. The real reward is this us. She looked up at me, eyes glistening. I've always believed that, and I knew you would realize it too. We stopped at the fountain, tossing pebbles and watching the ripples spread. Life is funny, I said quietly. The person I wanted so badly once, I lost. And through that loss, I found someone better, someone perfect for me. Layla laughed softly. Better than perfect, maybe? Better than perfect, I agreed. Because this is genuine. No games, no schemes, no hurt. Just love.